Hi everybody, Mature Simmer here. So welcome back to Basics, an American Truck Simulator. I'm going to actually be trying to get enough things done that I can get, hopefully, this accomplishment done on World of Trucks of jumping around Arkansas. So I'm just trying to find things. I've got to be at 100 miles. So I'm going to go ahead and take this wheel loader to Hot Springs, try to get another point marked off, but we're basically halfway. So we have 5 more cities of the 10 that are in Arkansas to get completed. These will be multiple episodes. I'm just letting you know that that's what I'm doing, and likely all of these will be completed hopefully this morning, and maybe I'll have a month and a half of episodes, but either way, let's get going. Alright, hold on. So I need to actually look at external market. So that gives me fewer options, so let's start the search again. Alright, so in theory, this one will get me to Hot Springs, a little further over. I think it's going to make it a challenge for this, but I think I'm basically... It's going to be interesting because I think all of these are too close together. So maybe a lot more work to do this than I think, but let me just take a quick... Yeah, what I think I'll actually do is I'm going to take this up to Fayetteville. I've got 2 points up here. I don't know what they are. What is it? Springdale and Fayetteville? I don't know. But I've got 2 cities up there, and then what I might be able to do is then do a Hot Springs, then come back up, or then, go over to Harrison or something like that. Yeah, because now these are all Oklahoma. Hoping I can pull this off. Anyway, let's get going to Fayetteville instead. So we're pulling out of our last location here. We need to head over. So it's been quite a while, honestly, since I've been in here. In the interim, we've had the Driving Academy come out, so I've been spending my time in the truck sims doing that for both American Truck Simulator and Euro Truck Simulator. If you followed these sims and looked for videos for that on my channel, you will... Whoops, I think... Yeah, I want to go to the other side here. So, in theory, with my Trucking Academy background, I should be a better driver now, right? We'll see. I'm still, speaking of, still trying to get to the point where I am going a couple weeks without any violations, and I don't think I've pulled that off anywhere, either in Euro Truck or American Truck. You call, we haul. STS, looking at the billboard. So, always interesting stuff. So, let me hop over. And we gotta obviously go pick these vehicles up, so we will do that in a bit. So the nice thing, again, with the World of Trucks is we're not really running on the game clock, we're running on the regular clock. I always love, it's just, it doesn't take long before the traffic AI just does something. Again, that red car just hitting its brakes for no reason. It's got tons of clearance, and I don't know. So, we shall see here. think we're going to Hitachi, but I'm not sure. I'm really bad at paying attention to where I need to go because I know the GPS will get me there, and that's always good enough. So obviously we've got the real-time or more realistic traffic signals, so it's a little bit longer cycle, and especially when you're dealing with stuff around the interstate like we are, it's pretty common in the US to have situations like good for that warning, or I would have probably cut over on him and that would have been a mess. So we got Motel 6, Exxon, 7-Eleven, McDonald's, 76, all kinds of real companies. So I do think that the change that was recommended a while back after really the multiple okay, we're good, multiple mods went through. So per the regular all right, let me just make sure here. Oh, nope, we're continuing on to Union Pacific. So, glad I did that before I turned in, but Hitachi, I think, would make lift trucks as well, so it's not a crazy idea to think that maybe it would have me go there. So yeah, the challenge may be to get the 100 miles. I may have to like take jobs out to Oklahoma or something to kind of get out of the border and then come back to be able to deliver something in. But then the challenge becomes like you could also go out of state and then not have any trips back to any towns you want. So this may become more challenging than I would like, which tends to sometimes be the thing, but that's why I was like, you know what, I've got a little bit of time, I might have an hour or two here that I could devote to this, and hopefully I can get things done in that time. But if nothing else, if I start to see I have a problem, because like anything, you know, when you're kind of shooting for that last bullseye at the end, so the issue will kind of be, you know, I'm down to one city, for example. Like I may have to poke around and find a job to that city. It may not come quite as easily. Oh, that's right. We're not doing lift trucks anymore. We're doing the tank. So as I saw that truck ahead of me, I don't know if you had noticed, right, as I turned on this road, there was a truck at the far end here heading around, and they had a tank on the back. I'm like, that's right. I'm moving some big tank. Oh, there's a little box truck behind me too or something, so nice active traffic. Suppose I should have looked. It just did say yield, but usually in the US they're pretty good now that you don't have, although I can't say I drive in extremely rural areas very often, so that may be inaccurate. But my thought was like, well, yeah, you would think AmeriGas would be more likely to have that than Smithfield, but I suppose Smithfield's food processing, if you're unfamiliar with that, they tend to do, I think I buy, you know, product I use of theirs most often is like pork sausage and stuff, if I recall. I think that's a Smithfield product.
You have arrived at your destination.
Yeah, they have tanks up there, so now we just need to see. All right, looks like it's up there inside the building. So we're going to use the 45-degree parking method that I learned at the training academy. I didn't really learn it. I've already been doing it, but you know what I mean. Again, stay in the cab. That is our requirement. You know, I can stop and walk around by using other cameras, but I have to stop moving. That mud flap was confusing me. I thought that was like a tire texture. I'm like, it's not moving, but the tire behind is rotating. So I realize now it's a mud flap. I don't know why I've never seen that before, but I caught it now. Maybe I'm not looking at the wheels like that. But yeah, interesting that they're putting me inside the facility here, but I suppose if this is where they load tanks, this is where they load tanks, right? I mean, whoops, well, failed my driver training, obviously. I just ran into a pole or something, so shame on me. Whoops. Probably not sharp enough. Yep. We are not, so we're gonna do this. Good news is it's just a flatbed, and that's why we got bumpers, right? Alright. Hopefully that'll be clear enough, but yeah, it's pretty tight in here then. Doesn't have a lot of clearance, so pop over that way. And then at this point, hopefully, as long as I kind of go straight, I should be okay. So yeah, this is a thing. Let's take a quick peek if we can. We really can't see much, but yeah, wow. See, and this looks, I mean, you can see the hoses on top. This doesn't really look like where they'd put in a tank. This is like where they'd be filling some kind of material, but this is where they wanted me to go. So let's load our cargo. Typically takes about an hour. Actually, about half an hour, not bad. Oh wait, do we have lift trucks? We do. Okay, or little yard dog things, I don't know. Whatever we have, we have. Again, I think it's 124-ish miles. Or no, 156, because we're going up to Fayetteville. It's 124 when I was doing Hot Springs. But that's where I'm like, you know, if I can do Fayetteville back to Hot Springs, maybe I can do 100.
Turn right.
If not, I'm really going to be bouncing around a lot. But that's the problem, I think, with a little bit of the small state that Arkansas is compared to the others. Did it say turn left? I think it did. So I will do what it said.
Get ready to turn left.
But I guess, yeah, maybe because we're running out of town and heading out in a certain direction. That may be, there's like, is that like an abandoned warehouse? It looks like moss growing off the roof or vines or something. It's kind of sloppy, honestly. There's a lot of stuff back here. This is kind of like your traditional industrial park. I don't hear anything. Ooh, there's a train parked there. Thank goodness it's parked.
Keep right, and then turn right.
Alright. But
Turn right.
it is a little rock, so I guess I'd expect a bit of complexity here. Alright, let me just make sure those trees are kind of blocking my view. So I guess we're doing, what is it, a button hook instead of a jug handle turn, where we go out into the intersection and then swing around. So again, it's things I've been doing, but you know, now I've kind of got the official name and whatever. Really? $1. I don't know that that's a real brand. There's like dollar stores and Dollar General.
Keep right, and then turn right. Turn right.
Alright, well, sadly, looks like we had a viewpoint, but we're not going that way. Sorry, had a sneeze coming on, so I know it my voice probably sounded a little bit like that. I was getting ready to cry or something, but no, I was trying to hold back a sneeze before I could mute the microphone. Trying to be a little bit professional, you know, more than just, hey, you get what you get. I always try to give some better quality content as much as I can.
Exit left.
Alright, Jacksonville, Memphis, Conway, Fort Smith. Like, I don't know if that's really Jacksonville, Florida, but I would think it might be.
Keep left.
And again,
and then exit left.
I don't think 40 gets us to that point.
Exit left.
Whoa, I really need to exit left. Didn't realize it was 2 lanes. I thought it was just an even split. But it's not. Alright. So, because yeah, I think I-10 is what really gets over to Jacksonville, but, you know, this may be like, hey, you're heading in that direction, and then we'll kind of get you there. Alright. Merging with Walmart, but we've got a lane between us, even after he has to move over. But I will stay here. Because that would just be mean otherwise, because he's got to do exactly that, and then he can merge, and we can have like a real proper traffic incident here in ATS for once, as opposed to someone doing some weird cutoff or diving into you or something like that. Alright, so I think I'm clear now, so we'll head over. But now we're on the interstate. I know we were kind of going through a little bit of a diagonal, so I'm guessing that this is just going to be mainly highway all the way up to Fayetteville, which is nice. That'll be good, because that will obviously move this along a little bit. So yeah, you may have noticed, depending on how much you consume on the channel, that it's been a bit sparse. It's pretty much been golf and some flight sim stuff for the last week or two. As is always, you know, some of that, it's a combination of things, a little bit of what I got drawn to, what I had interest in. So I'm kind of competing. I don't know how else I would describe it, because that's really what it is. I'm trying to be in the top 3 of this virtual airline called Firefly Air, which is a airline based off of, hosted by, supported by, I don't know what you'd call it, by Two Tone Murphy, who's another YouTuber, streamer. I think they really do more Twitch stuff, and then I think they just archive their stuff on YouTube, so they're probably really technically probably more a streamer. And I think they do like Monday, Wednesday, Friday streams, and some weekend stuff too, I think. But they tend to have like 3 streams a week, and probably the most organized or formalized that I've ever seen, where basically each week they'll put out a pretty decent blurb on their Discord saying, okay, Monday's going to be this, Wednesday's going to be this. And they do ETS too, actually, as well. So he's an Irish streamer. So, you know, it's based in Europe, so he's not doing any American truck, but I think on Wednesdays his streams are ETS too. But he's got a lot of flight sim stuff, and more of his stuff is flight sim, so out of the 3 streams, 2 tend to be flight simming, and the other one periodically is that. And part of it is he's created a little bit of a, because there's also Firefly Logistics or whatever, which is the trucking arm, and you can do stuff. I don't know if it's in Truckers MP or not. I'm not participating on that side, but I figured I'd give the Firefly Air thing a try, because it uses FS Hub, which is something I peeked at months ago, but really just found kind of really tiny, sporadic little virtual airlines. But FS Hub's basically a way to manage virtual airline stuff, and so it allows just someone who's not, I think, extremely technical or whatever, kind of a pre-built way and a pre-built set of tools to do things. But they've done a pretty substantial job, and way more active than I've seen, you know, even in other virtual airlines that aren't based on that. And one of the things they have is basically the top 3 of a group in what they call experience leagues, XP leagues. So you earn experience for each flight,
and then exit right,
just like you tend to do in any virtual airline. But the piece they offer that most don't is there's like different levels that you can get to, and so there's 5 groups, and then all of us starting you know, kind of think of it as what I was doing, or have been doing in TGC Tours, right, to qualify. So everybody sits in the qualifying pool until they qualify, and then they put you in different flights. So it's similar to that, where basically if you end up in the top 3 of the qualifying group, you get moved into the first of the 5 groups, and those groups are just 12 people at that point. And then the bottom 3 and the top 3 will either get promoted or get demoted. And so at minimum, I'd want to stay, once I get into a group, I'd want to stay in the top 9, so that I either get promoted up a level, or at least I stick around in those smaller groups, because right now I think I'm competing with like a couple hundred people, and so it was a little intense trying to get enough points. But right now I've got about a 7,000 XP buffer between me and the next person below me, and I have just crossed like 20,000 XP, so it's almost like, you know, 40%, 35% buffer. So at this point, I should probably be able to fly a little more reasonably, where I'm just doing a few flights a week, but it's certainly going to be more than I've normally done in my VA. But it was a long way of explaining, like, that took a long time to build up that buffer of points. So for like a week, maybe 10 days, I was just pounding flights, and I think I got like 80 or 90 flights done in a week for Firefly Air. And a lot of them were shorter, so don't be like, oh goodness, they're like 3-hour flights. No, a lot of them were 15-20 minute flights, but still a lot of hours. And so obviously I was doing a lot of that. Alright, so we've discovered Fayetteville. And I assume we'll be exiting shortly, because now we're already at 137. We needed to be like 156, I think, so I'm assuming next exit, because ATS miles go pretty quick. So I was doing that, and then obviously trying to keep up with TGC Tours, which requires at least 4 rounds a week. But I'm trying to do practice of a round or 2, so, you know, and then I'm doing some offline stuff sometimes. So it was a lot of golf and flight sim, and that's why. And it's mainly because of the Firefly Air thing. But obviously I'm trying to keep up at least with the other things that I'm doing here.
Keep right, and then turn right.
Alright, let's see. Hopefully the school bus or whatever that's back there will wait. It looks like they are. Kind of. Slow down, sir.
Turn right.
They did not leave me a lot of room, I'll tell you that. Alright, what is this? Weddington? It looks like Weddington Avenue.
Go straight.
What do you mean? I did not have a red light. Well, there we go. I see, those kind of violations are irritating. See, in Springdale is like right there, but so it's interesting. I mean, I assume I'm not going to suddenly discover Springdale on this trip. It almost seems like it's like across the street from Fayetteville. I mean, they are very close on the map, so I think this is going to be the most difficult thing to pull off. But obviously I just need to get something listed in Springdale, and I should be okay. Oh, I was wondering why the truck was moving over there when we clearly had a green light, but he's turning. Big old monster truck, or sort of, you know, jacked up pickup that you certainly probably would see in Arkansas. So not that was because of that, because again I'm using like Jazzy Cat stuff. Oh, and again, don't give me a red light there, because my trailer is there. That's all I could think of. It honestly might have been because I swung into the left lane and they had a red light, and somehow, even though I was moving in the opposite direction, it triggered me that way. Good news is we're going to get a viewpoint on this trip, so yay for us.
Go straight.
I was going to say, it looks like it merges. Whoop, I see a vehicle. Good job turning in there, sir, and then
Get ready to turn right.
creating a panic for you and me. Bad thing is, it looks like to get the viewpoint I'm going to have to pull off the road, and I don't know how big of a space that is. So is this one where I'm gonna need to... Maybe what I'll do is I'll do the viewpoint next episode. Thing is, I don't know if the road continues over there, but either way, I could still do that, and then, although I still have the trailer attached, so either way, I'd either have to detach the trailer or not, and it would be harder if I'm coming out to the left out of that location, and then basically do a 180-degree hairpin. Definitely be bringing my driver academy training up, because they did have us do stuff like that, like do a 180 in a tight spot, but question becomes, like, did SCS really design things appropriately to accommodate that?
Right.
Alright, so it looks like... alright, we'll go straight, because, yeah, it looks like I really need to go up here to get to that viewpoint, but we'll do that, because, yeah, it is there. And it looks like we've got some room to turn, so thank you, SCS, for designing it in a way that at least is reasonable. Alright, we're good. Because I'm like, if they don't give me space, that'll be really unfun. So, we should see some Fayetteville stuff. Let's check it out. I saw Arkansas. Haha, first of 8 viewpoints, but yeah, those we're not chasing. We'll see them if we see them, but graffiti even in smaller little cities like this. Almost said town, but that might be offensive to the people of Fayetteville. I'm sure they consider themselves in a city, and I am certainly not. While I was born and raised in really large cities like Chicago, I don't have the flyover viewpoint of, everything in the middle except the coasts is just a bunch of, little towns that nobody'd want to live in type of thing. Everything's got its own charm, and people choose to live in areas for very different reasons sometimes, so... I'm in that mode a little bit now as I'm hopefully... Well, I am getting to the end of my working career. Still got years likely to go, but I got the Fayetteville Church, probably a common thing to focus on in what would really be, if not in, really close to what's called the Bible Belt in the U.S., where churches and religion are very important in communities. Not like an old water tower. I'm just saying that because it looks something like the old water tower in Chicago with the little turrets on top and so forth. I don't know what that is. Cool building, though. And with that, it looks like we're going to end. Nice. Alright, so 5:44. I'll probably go ahead after this, and we'll sleep at some point, too, before we fully take on our next adventure. Alright, so we've got the local Fayetteville police, or Arkansas. I'm gonna be really aggressive, and I'm gonna go. Because I don't want to wait. And then hopefully I can straighten out without hitting anybody. And then we need to turn. So it all worked. I was just being a really rude trucker. It's like, I'm big, I'm gonna do what I want to do. How far do I need to go? Because I really need to swing, I think, to get in wherever it is I'm going. Come on, guys. This is a lot of traffic. Again, I have a mod that is like real traffic. Is this gonna want me at the road? I don't think it will. That's the thing. I think I need to come in like here. I can't tell. But yeah, it's gotta be. The delivery point has got to be here. Alright, there it is. So I do have a little bit of movement. It's blindside, though, this way. I'd rather not, but It's really the best way to handle this. So that's how we're going to handle it. Alright, let's not hit that. Not sure that I'm far enough, so I'm gonna do a little bit of this, and then the good news is we got some room next to us. It's not like it's a super tight position, but alright, let's rotate. I don't like the fact that I really can't see the back. But thinking, my goodness. So a little bit of that, now I think we're okay. So actually did really well for that. Gotta be honest. That was quite well done. Maybe the driving academy did help me out. I don't know. Alright. So, good little hunk of experience. $11,000. So, money's usually not the problem in this series. We're not doing any economy. We did go from 5 of 10 to 6 of 10. So we got Fayetteville. We still need Fort Smith, Harrison, Hot Springs, and the neighboring town of Springdale. So, as always, if you've enjoyed this, you notice we're in the Halloween season. I was debating changing the background so that it didn't look odd when people watched it, not in real time. But so there's the Halloween event. I don't usually participate because, again, I think, what is it that we need to do? Yeah, 13 deliveries of Halloween cargo. That's right. So you're hauling like big pumpkins and stuff like that. They do stuff around Christmas. Sometimes they do Thanksgiving, I think. So it's good that they have events. You know, it gives, again, people a reason to come in and do stuff. But my reason is because I enjoy doing it. And every 8 days, I owe you guys another haul. So that's my motivation, and I don't really care where I go or what I haul, so I'll just stick with those things. And again, I haven't done a cruising thing in a while. I do think we're getting close to Missouri. There's a lot more of those announcements dropping of showing content from that, so I'm still holding out some belief that we're going to see that before the end of the year, but we'll see if I'm right. But as always, if you've enjoyed this, haven't dropped a like, or are not a subscriber, please consider those things. Greatly appreciated. And I will see you next time. Look at that ghost way up there.